Muy buena gente, bienvenidos a mi canal, bienvenidos a un episodio de VAMPYR, lo primero de todo. Gracias por comentario, por ver los vídeos, por suscribirse al canal. Vamos a ver gente, ya esto va cogiendo forma ya, ¿vale? Va cogiendo forma. Vamos a hablar con esta, un momentito, porque con esta no tenemos las cosas, ¿lo veis? No tenemos las cosas.
Not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
¿Por qué los médicos en concreto? ¿Por qué Milton está
Why is
gruñón?
Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Vale, ya tenemos un detalle, una pista de este tío.
Why does Milton dislike
Ese es de la
I
ambulancia.
don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Vale, vamos por aquí. ¿Cómo está
How
la
would you
situación por
describe
aquí?
the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
La gripe española acabará en algún momento. Recompongas.
Nurse Hawkins, the
What?
Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must
Recompóngase.
get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Vale, esta tiene vínculo, como he dicho, con el tío este de la ambulancia, ¿vale? Vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. ¿Hace cuánto que
How
es
long have you
enfermera?
been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Debería cambiar su actitud, le
You'd be
sorprendería.
surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Vale, ahora preguntas personales. Nada, ¿no?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Vamos a ir de la ambulancia. Bueno, a ver si vamos a ir, a ver si lo veo aquí. Aquí está. Este me dará algo ahora,
Good evening,
alguna
Milton.
pista o algo.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
¿Lo ves? No sé. Aquí.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Qué antipático es el tío este. No tenemos nada, ¿no? No.
Goodbye, Milton.
Y si cogemos a la doctora ahora, está por aquí. Este es un desconocido.
Daily routine.
Vale, vamos a averiguar ahora. Objetivo equivocado, averigua a quien espía a Telma. Vale. Este tiene
Good
algo para
evening, Dr.
nosotros.
Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Hay que mirar todas estas cosas, tío. Vale.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Carta arrugada. Carta arrugada. Amor mío, al fin he reunido todo el dinero que pedí el conductor de la ambulancia por llevarte al hospital. Ahora no te preocupes por nada, preocúpate solo por ponerte bien. Ya me he encargado yo de todo. Le he preguntado a los vecinos y me han dicho que Hawk es un auténtico sinvergüenza, aunque podemos fiarnos de él. Pide más dinero, pero a cambio nos garantiza una cama. Siento haberte negado a pagar en un principio. Ahora me doy cuenta de lo importante que es. Madre mía, la que hay montada aquí. Me han dicho que el hospital es un buen lugar a pesar del comportamiento de Milton Hawk. Te prometo que todo va a salir bien. Uf, madre mía, la que hay aquí montada, chaval. Otro. Cheline. Aquí hay tema, Hay tema, pero tema que te quema.
I'm sorry you
Tío,
ended
que
up
no ha
in my
entrado
plain
aquí.
and cold medical
I cannot
conditions.
enter.
I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Bueno, mi pregunta es... Tengo que ir aquí. Marcador personal, vale. Abrió quien espía a Thelma. Estoy seguro que es este el que está aquí. Seguro.
It's locked.
Daily routes.
A giant morgue disguised as a hospital.
28. Bueno, voy a hablar contigo ya que estoy aquí. Total.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Tell me
Ah,
why
okay.
you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realised I could make a fortune.
Vale.
Goodbye, Milton.
Está a 54 metros, tío. que no consigo averiguar bien, tío. Mira, 51, 48, 36, 34. Desconocido. Yo creo que puede ser este. Ojo,
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague. Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
su vida en Londres. Venga, vamos a seguir hablando.
Uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses.
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
La mayoría de la gente evita la carne
An
muerta.
interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Vale, ya tenemos un vínculo, ¿eh? ¿Cómo consiguió el trabajo?
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Vale, este es de 4. ¿Con qué vínculo se...? No hay relaciones todavía. Bueno, nos conocemos.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Trabaja aquí en
Do you work here
solitario.
alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
¿Por qué vigila estos cuerpos?
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Porque se cerró
Why
morgue.
close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Vale. No tenemos pista para nada, tío. ¿Es usted
A
prestamista?
pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
¿Qué viene aquí a negociar con usted? ¿Qué tipo de artículos vende?
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
Vale, ¿qué tipo de
What kind
artículos
of goods?
vende?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Ah, ¿cree que en la vida después de esta? Mira,
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No, I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
¿Estás preparado para morir? Las buenas intenciones no perduran.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it.
Estupendo, venga.
What troubles me
Este creo que
is the
nos da
pain
cosas,
my
tío,
death
para
will
vender.
inflict
A
to
ver.
those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed, I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Que no tenemos nada. No tenemos pista.
Please show me what you
Vamos a
have to
ver.
sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Ergotamina, venga, vamos a comprar. Dos de cada y ya está. Total. Venga.
It's locked. It's locked.
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
¿Será que tengo que hablar con
Good
este
evening,
tío?
Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
Fueron muchas las
I'm
víctimas del
sorry for
bombardeo.
your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing
Deja hablar
about this
mucho,
is
tío, hablar
my
mucho.
Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Tú vas a hablar mucho, tío. Me falta una pista.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. As for me,
Good evening, sir.
blundering.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
How is the duty roster organized?
¿Cómo
Everybody
se
works until
organizan
they
los
can't.
turnos?
If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
¿Qué hay de los protocolos
What about
clínicos?
medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
Vale.
For how
¿Cuánto tiempo
long
lleva
have you
aquí?
been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
¿No tiene vínculo con nadie o qué? No. ¿Eh? ¿Por qué me pone grave, tío? Por esta gente. Vale.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
Sobre la epidemia.
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
Vale.
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Aquí no hay nada.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Vamos, una rata en el hospital. Vamos a hablar con Edgar. Realmente no sé si está aquí.
I cannot enter. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Su vida en Londres. ¿Cuál es la situación de los muelles de
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Ha recibido amenazas de la
Has the
banda.
gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
¿Quién dirige ahora la
Who leads the
banda?
gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
¿Cómo acabó en la guarida de William
How
Bishop?
did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
¿Por qué lo
Why did
secuestró?
he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here, this Miss Hawcroft.
¿Es usted un héroe o muy
You
estúpido?
dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Sobre
Do
Tom
you know
Watts.
Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Corrupción.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Vale. Vale, por aquí, preguntas personales. He hablado la amistad con alguien desde su llegada.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
¿Por qué no utilizó esa cruz contra William?
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Vale. Nada,
Goodbye,
pues
Mr.
nada.
Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Esto está aquí arriba. Vamos, seguro. No.
It's locked, all right.
Tampoco. Aquí.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brat.
Sin miedo, experiencia.
A new life? How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
No es ningún regalo del cielo, sus palabras me consuelan.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
No hay nada que
There's
disculparse.
no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Habla con la... Bueno, vamos a hablar
Do you
con
need
esta otra
something,
vez.
Jonathan?
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
Sobre William
The man we
Bishop.
pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
¿Qué tienen los Skald de
Just for
especial?
clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skald?
A Skald is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
How do
los
Skalds come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Vale, vamos.
Since
Sobre
you
mi
seem quite the
situación.
expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings, and the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
Debo matar, puedo matar
The sun.
el sol.
The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Debo
Must
matar.
I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
Vale. Sobre la
You mentioned
hermandad.
something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
No me
Yet
teme.
you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Eso explica su pasión
That
nocturna.
explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
¿Qué es lo que pone, Nuria? ¿Qué es lo que dice? luego te lo cuento, ¿vale?
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Nosotros somos un vampiro.
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
¿Qué es lo que esperas de
What do you
mí?
expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
Que pone es que hay que... ¿En qué punto nos
Where do we
encontramos?
stand today?
But to be
Luego te lo
honest, we
cuento.
cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
Vale.
We'll see each other again soon, Edgar.
Vamos a ver la tía esta, ¿vale?
Time has lost its effect on me.
Una rata en el hospital, benefactora. Aquí está. Digo yo.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp... The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Siento que me ha
It
estado
seems I'm the
engañando.
butt of a joke, or pigeon of a con. Dr. Swansea might have told me who I was going to meet.
I know you're a man of action, Doctor, but take a moment to contemplate the terrain. In this war, discretion is both weapon and shield.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Estoy aquí para... ¿Ha causado problemas a algún paciente?
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
La creo.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Tengo preguntas sobre los
Pardon my
vampiros.
boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
¿Qué quiere de mí? ¿Qué quiere de mí?
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Vale, es un vampiro que
Who
lo
would be
amenaza.
so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
¿Por qué no lo
If we're
resuelve?
dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Por favor,
Please
continúa.
continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Me haré cargo. ¿Es cierto?
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Vale, habla con Harry en el hospital.
My blood and soul. They belong to you now.
The life running
Vamos a ver qué nos dice,
What is
gente.
this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Cálmase, por
Please,
favor.
calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
Ha! How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
¿Le gusta
If I
cotillear?
didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
¿Es usted la chantajista?
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
No se trata de ninguna
I
negligencia
assure
médica.
you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
Encuentra enfermera, pipa,
Your patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Vale, vamos a coger esto que hay aquí.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Aquí, un hombre extraño que visita a las
What
enfermeras.
can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
El señor Jones merece nuestra ayuda. Puede haber dicho la verdad.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
Vale. Hay algo por aquí. Ya que estoy.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Enfermera Dorothy Crane. Dorothy, que tiene que estar por aquí.
I will not let you down, my boy.
No, este no.
Reads me like a book.
¿Dónde está?
So many deaths. And what of my own life?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
No,
Goodbye,
esta no,
Nurse
esta no
Hawkins.
es.
If only there were more of us.
45
Less resignation
metros.
and more determination.
Estas cosas me resulta un poco difícil. Encontrar a la gente, tío. Encontrar a la gente me resulta un poquito difícil, tío. Vale, pero tengo que encontrar a las enfermeras. Estoy desviando un poco de esto, tío. esta es una de ellas, creo.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Sí.
Do you know if any of the
¿Lo he
hospital
hecho?
staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Vale, vamos
Have you
aquí.
seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Pues me...
Goodbye, nurse.
No, dice
Call
que
me
no.
if you need assistance.
Encuentra a la enfermera Dorothy Klein.
Good evening, sir. The right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling
¿Dónde
better.
está la enfermera Dorothy? ...98 metros... ...95... vale. Vale, esta es mi casa. Esto parece ser que se repone. Me falta encontrar a Dorothy Klein. ¿Ves? Que se repone esto, tío.
Disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Pain. I need my medication.
Vamos a ver dónde está la enfermera, gente.
So time with me to be like a book, and still more coming. I never could keep anything from her. How can we be sure of it?
78, 76.
So many times.
Escucha escondida. Si un ciudadano actúa de forma sospechosa, su corazón desprende un brillo muy característico. Si observas al ciudadano, podrás... Vale, look.
Oswald, you can't just lie like this.
What must I do? Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survive the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend.
Sobre su amigo. Vale.
Where was your
Venga,
friend
vamos a
the
seguir
last time you
hablando
saw
con él.
him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewers on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together. Oswald is nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's best friend. We served in the same regiment, sir. We've taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Vale, vamos a ver dónde está Dorothy porque no creo que sea normal esto.
I cannot enter.
Esta es Dorothy.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Esta tampoco es.
How long must I wait, damn it? Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year?
¿Dónde está la enfermera?
And you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
No encuentro a la enfermera.
So many deaths. And what of my own life?
No encuentro a la enfermera. No sé realmente dónde está la enfermera, gente.
Here again.
Voy a hablar con este momento.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to
No
me.
veo coleccionables.
The dark
Acerca del uso de la ajo y de la bar.
spirits in your
Son coleccionables.
My blood and soul. They belong to you
¿Dónde
now.
estará la enfermera?
Good evening,
Lo dejo, no
Good
tiene
evening,
que andar,
Doctor.
¿no?
Still trying to save lives?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening,
Otra
Doctor.
vez, esta vez la misma.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
O se supone, vamos a ver. Encuentra a la enfermera Dorothy. Identifica el extorsionador.
We're safe.
What must I do? What must I do?
No one is here. Relax.
This isn't even my neighborhood.
Mira, ahí está la enfermera.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah.
Ahí
I'll
está la
have to see someone
enfermera.
at the hospital.
Gente.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Algo me huele mal, ¿eh? No huele nada bien esto. Se ha ido. No sé. Vamos a ver qué nos encontramos aquí ahora. Vale. Vale, vamos por aquí.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Vale. Vale. Por aquí cositas. Realmente Me voy a ir de aquí. Me voy a ir de aquí. Y vamos. Igual está la enfermera, está aquí abajo, es que no lo sé. Vamos a ver. Esto es grandísimo, tío. Nuevo coleccionable, vale. Madre mía.
What sort of creature is this?
Vamos. 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 Fuera, 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 fuera. Vale, cúrate, cúrate, cúrate. Cúrate. Está casi muerto, ¿eh?
Here's what's left of him.
Vale.
Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
Vale. Cupón de la enfermera Crane. Si estás enfermo y no tienes dinero, sea quien sea, venga de donde venga, venga a ver a Dorothy. Para recibir ayuda no es ningún engaño, gratis, no hacemos preguntas, busca la casa de Gary Pertius y entrega este cupón.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel.
What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Vamos a ver. aquí arriba, ¿no? Claro, pero esto para salir de aquí. Vale. Vamos a... Vale, un poquito de esto. Vale. Dinero. Aquí podemos salir. Vale. Cogemos esto. Es su nombre. Vamos a ver qué nos dice.
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Vamos. Vamos a ver qué hay aquí. Bueno, gente, pues aquí vamos a tomarnos esto. Aquí vamos a dejar el capítulo de hoy. Espero que os haya gustado. Gracias por ver el vídeo. Suscribiros al canal. Hasta luego.